Welcome to the Blessors of Israel podcast. I'm Matthew Dodd, Executive Director of Blessors of Israel. How is Iran adjusting to life after the 12-day war with Israel, where it suffered the loss of its top military brass and many of their replacements, the death of 11 of its top nuclear scientists, 9 within the opening minutes of Israel's surprise attack, devastating blow to its ballistic missile program? They also conceded air superiority to Israel. Israel could do whatever it wanted, whenever it wanted, over the skies of Iran. And then you have the devastating blow to its nuclear program after President Donald Trump gave the order that B-2 stealth bombers would drop 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs on the nuclear sites at Natanz, Fordo, and Isfahan. On top of that, you have to ask another question. Where was Iran's support? Did they get support from China? They have a 25-year agreement with China. Any support from China? No. China is tied up with Taiwan. What about Russia? No. Russia is tied up with Ukraine. How about Hamas or Hezbollah or the Houthis? Again, no. Hamas, devastated by Israel. After it attacked Israel on October 7, 2023, Israel has dealt a heavy-handed blow against Hamas, and it appears that it may buckle at any moment. Then you have Hezbollah. It too was devastated when Israel attacked it, taking out Nasrallah, its chief leader, and also many of the top brass within Hezbollah. They wanted nothing to do with Israel. They're still licking their wounds from last November. And then on top of that, the Houthis, they were nowhere to be found either. So how is Iran responding to all of this, to life after this 12-day war with Israel? Well, in a word, defiant. Iran remains defiant during this ceasefire. And it's important to note it's a ceasefire, not a surrender. And that became very clear when you look at actions that have taken place recently since the ceasefire started. For instance, the Ayatollah, Khamenei, he had his first televised appearance, pre-recorded, first televised appearance since the ceasefire. You see, he's been hiding in fearful that he's going to suffer the same fate as the military brass and then the scientists. So he's been hiding in a bunker, though that bunker is well known by Israel and by others. But what did he say? Well, he vowed to retaliate against the U.S. bases if Iran was struck. And then he also claimed victory over the United States and Israel. He basically said that Iran hand-slapped America in the face, and that the United States only got involved because Iran was about to defeat the Zionist regime, and so in order to protect the Zionist regime, the United States got involved. He also went on to say that the U.S. really didn't do much damage with those 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs on the nuclear facilities at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. And then he also went on to say that Iran would never, ever surrender. Then you have Iran's foreign ministry spokesman. He said that Iran will preserve its nuclear program, quote, under any circumstances. On top of that, you had the Iranian lawmakers. They gathered together and they were chanting death to America and death to Israel as they approved legislation suspending cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA. And then the advisor to the Ayatollah, he posted on X, quote, "The game isn't over, the surprises will come." And then there was this Iranian state broadcaster who declared defiantly and directly to President Trump, quote, "We will enrich uranium to whatever level we choose. We will answer to no one," close quote. So even though Iran has suffered an embarrassing defeat, it truly remains defiant. It is true that Iran is exposed and vulnerable from a military standpoint. It's also true that Iran is financially devastated and domestically fragile. but the regime survived. We must remember the regime has lived to see another day. So therefore, as I've said before, it's going to learn from its mistakes. It's going to learn from its defeat, even though it's not admitting defeat at this point. And it's going to rebuild. And when the time is right, it will strike again. You see, this is a ceasefire. It's not a surrender. This is not Germany, Nazi Germany or Japan, surrendering at the end of World War II. And Iran has not renounced its nuclear ambitions, nor is it willing to allow the IAEA to inspect at will, nor is it committed to full transparency regarding its nuclear program. And by the way, it's not committing to turn over the 408 kilograms of enriched uranium. And it's not saying that it will formally recognize the state of Israel, nor is it saying that it has given up its terroristic ways, that it's seen the error of its ways, and it will no longer be the main supporter, the big funder of terrorism worldwide. And it is not saying that it's committed to renouncing the radical teachings of Islam. So, what was gained by the U.S. and Israel's victory over Iran? Well, I believe that, yes, its nuclear program has suffered a setback for some time, but it remains to be seen how long. And it's also true that its military has been embarrassed and devastated. And the condition of its alliance with China and Russia are fragile at best. But fundamentally, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed at all. It is still committed to doing what it was planning to do before the war ever began, to wipe Israel off the face of the earth and also the United States. Death to America, death to Israel. And you know, the Word of God has something to say about this as well. For as I've shared before, and I will share again, Ezekiel 38 and 39 make it clear that Persia, modern-day Iran, is going to attack Israel again. At the Battle of Gog and Magog, there will be a coalition of nations led by Russia. Turkey will be part of it. Persia will be part of it. The Arab nations of northern Africa will be a part of it as well, and they will attack Israel from the north, east, and south. Israel will be outnumbered and outgunned, but God will bring about a mighty deliverance so that all will know that there is a God in heaven, and God has made a commitment. Those who bless Israel will be blessed. He made that commitment to Abram in Genesis chapter 12, and God keeps his word. It was an unconditional, unilateral promise to Abram, and God is going to keep his word. But Iran, it's not done yet, and we need to see this. I am relieved to see recent reports have come out that Israel and the United States are going to monitor what's going on with Iran, even though they have this ceasefire taking place. That the United States is also saying that they are going to require that Iran turn over the enriched uranium that it has and also give up its nuclear programs. But it remains to be seen how long Iran will be defiant. But nevertheless, even though if it's just for a season, we need to keep in mind Iran is not done yet. And prophetically speaking, God is going to deliver Israel from Iran's hands because Iran will one day rebuild. It might not be in our lifetime. It may be. Likely will be. But Iran will rebuild, and one day it will attack Israel again. And so it's important for us to be in prayer for Israel and her people. And as I've shared with you before, we need to be praying for Israel's enemies as well, that everyone will come to saving faith in Jesus Christ, because, my friends, that's the only answer. Faith in Jesus Christ. It's only through the transforming work of the gospel of Jesus Christ that lives can be changed and that there will be peace, because Jesus Christ is our Prince of Peace. I'm so grateful that you joined us today for this update on the Blessors of Israel podcast. I want to encourage especially those who are joining us for the very first time to visit our website. You can go there by visiting www.blessors.org. That's Blessors with an ORS.org. On our homepage and in its pages thereafter, you'll see our vision and mission statement. I specifically want to encourage you to check out our newsroom. There you will see curated news concerning Israel and the Middle East. I want you to be the best informed in regards to what's going on with Israel so we know how to stand with Israel in the latter days. You'll also see original articles with a biblical perspective there as well. If you haven't done so already, I'd like to encourage you to like this podcast and make sure you subscribe to this channel, whatever channel you're watching us on right now. You can follow us on Facebook, X, and Getter. And I also want to let you know that we appreciate your prayers and your financial partnership as we build this new and important ministry. As I mentioned a moment ago from Genesis chapter 12, God makes it clear to Abram, I will bless those who bless you, and those who curse you I will curse. Those who bless Israel will truly be blessed. Shalom, shalom.